Saturday, August 1st, 8:15 a.m. Early one. Got the coffee in hand, ready to go. Man, these things have been a little difficult. It's getting a little difficult to try to get all these out. And it's crazy. It might be the pandemic. It might be because Dutch had a little itchy throat and we're trying to be safe. So we're doing all of our Wrestling Up Informed shows by Zoom. So I don't see him every week. So my motivation is, it's harder to get motivated, talk about wrestling. But there's a lot of good things happening. And Brad came through once again on this episode of the Take It Home podcast with some amazing topics, amazing questions. And that's what you get here. As you can see, I'm rocking the Ballers jersey. If you don't know, now you know. Yep, Kannapolis Cannonballers. Kannapolis Cannonballers. Atrium Ballpark in Kannapolis. Kannapolis is where I live, my hometown. Grew up here. But their season has been canceled. I think they're a single A or double A affiliate of the White Sox. And I was looking forward to going to the new stadium, checking out some awesome baseball games because they're fun, and it's a new stadium, and it's right in downtown. It's got a little brewery over off to the left side of the stadium. I was going to grab some beers, watch some baseball, but not this year. COVID said not today, United States. When is this COVID shit going to end anyway? It's getting kind of tiresome. It's I can't wait till we can just gather together. We don't have to see cardboard cutouts at baseball stadiums. We can gather together in peace and harmony and have fun and enjoy sporting events and, more importantly, enjoy professional wrestling matches. Because even though, once again, that you have the fake crowds at AEW and WWE, it's still weird. And I can't wait to just hear like a pop, just a big pop in a coliseum or a stadium or, I don't know, wherever the next wrestling in Daily Place, wherever. I just can't wait to hear 10, 15,000 people pop for something and get that rush again. That's what I'm missing. TV's acting weird. It's a ghost. Maybe I shouldn't do these at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. But I don't know. So I hope you enjoy the show. Like I said, I got some awesome questions, some things I'm really excited to talk about. If you haven't checked out our Patreon page, it's patreon.com/WOF show. About to drop another uncut episode, which is the Patreon exclusive episodes. Not to mention, we're about to drop some Patreon exclusive merchandise that's coming in the very near future. And it's just got to keep the ball rolling, man. Trying to grow this thing. So if you have a friend that likes wrestling and they don't know about the Wrestling Up Informed show, just tell them, hey, go check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/Wrestling Up Informed, or check us out on Twitter at Open Forum Show. We need to do a better job on Twitter. I shouldn't say we. I need to do a better job on Twitter. That's going to be a goal for post-pandemic. Is for us to grow our Twitter following. I haven't mastered Twitter. I feel like I got a good handle on Facebook. Have not mastered Twitter at all. But yeah, so go check out our social media. Go follow us. We're starting to grow. I mean, we're up to listen. When I say these numbers, don't look at us and say, "Well, what are you guys doing? You only have 300 people that follow you." No. Listen, we've never pushed our Facebook page. We've never pushed our social media up until. This is the 13th episode of Wrestling Up Informed show that airs today on the High Spots Wrestling Network. So up until 13 episodes ago, we didn't take this serious. So, and when we came back to be on the High Spots Wrestling Network, that's when we started taking all this stuff serious, and that's when we started pushing this thing and trying to make it an actual entertainment company or an actual content provider, as opposed to just a bunch of friends getting together in my garage or my living room and talking about wrestling. So that's where we are. But like I said, thank you for checking this out. This supposedly is supposed to air every Friday, but it's getting to the point where we're so busy that we just get it out whenever we can. There was not a Dutch's kick out on Monday because once again Dutch wasn't feeling that well. If he doesn't get one done this coming Monday, I will knock it out. I'll give you a top 5 countdown of something, and we'll keep the ball rolling. But we do have the new episode of Wrestling of Inform. We did it with Zoom. That's available right now at highspotswrestlingnetwork.com. Best $9.99 in the business, as well as the Patreon page. You can check it out on Patreon at patreon.com/WF show. So it's enough of me jabbering. I filled my time for this intro. Now let's get to talking about the subjects that Brad threw me. Hit me with the first one, Brad. Gallows and Anderson won't Impact in New Japan Pro Wrestling to work together. Do you think it would be a good fit? Do I think it would be a good fit for New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact to work together? I definitely think it'd be a good fit. I don't know. I don't see it happening as much as Gallows and Anderson want it to happen just because of the whole access situation. Also, if you want a historical factor, go look at when, I'm trying to think of the timeline. Go look at when it's Impact, but TNA when it was at the time, when they debuted on Spike TV. I'm trying to think of when. I don't know the time frame. Sorry, I don't have a time reference. But when they debuted on Spike TV in their first year run, they mistreated so many people that were New Japan stars, that are New Japan stars now, including Okada, Nakamura. I don't know who else. There was a few more that went to TNA, and they just treated them like jobbers because they didn't really understand or get any concept, which they weren't who they are now, but I've heard they were mistreated. I've read they were mistreated. But I don't see it happening. I do think that New Japan, I don't know. I'm closer to New Japan than anybody else. But I feel like New Japan was starting to get their footprint in America before the pandemic happened. Although it's publicized that the Northeast or the Southeast tour wasn't successful for New Japan, I think it was successful from a business standpoint. It wasn't successful from a fans wanting millions of people in stadiums standpoint. You have to understand New Japan is trying to build the American branch of their company. And if you jump in head first and throw if you jump in head first and fill a stadium up or fill a Coliseum up with all your stars, then that's going to be the expectation, and that's a big expense for a company that's based out of Japan, and probably 70 or 80% of their roster is Japanese, and they have to fly them from Japan. So I understand and I respect and I like the way that New Japan is stepping into the American market with kind of smaller shows, highlighting some of their talent and highlighting some American talent with it. I know that's not what the fans want, but I think if you go, I've been to most of the New Japan shows since they've opened New Japan of America. If you go to one of their shows, it still feels like a New Japan show. It has the flow of a New Japan show. The way it's ran, I can speak from experience, is identical to how a New Japan show is ran. And the wrestling, which is what makes New Japan so amazing, is the wrestling that takes place in the New Japan Pro Wrestling rings and in the promotion. That's identical to what you see in the Japanese shows. So, but I think, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I understand what Gallows and Anderson are wanting to do. And do I think that Impact is in a better place now than they were back then? Yes. I think Impact is doing things right. I think they're making mistakes. I think, and I don't know if the mistakes even fall on their hands. The Tessa thing, even though I liked how they did it, ended up being a mistake because of how it ended. But nobody could have planned that. This pandemic threw it off, so I don't put blame on them. I wish Tessa would have just done business and kept her name clean and kept the TNA title without negative publicity, and everybody could just go their own ways and let Tessa, if she goes to WWE, let her go to WWE. Let Eddie Edwards win the title, and we're exactly where we are now without all the controversy. But I think that D'Amore and Callis are more open and are. I mean, D'Amore has the reputation of being able to work with other companies and successfully. So, and he's no stranger. Neither one of them are not strangers to the business, and it's yeah. I think it could be done. Do I think it will happen? No, I do not. But I think it could be done. I think the better fit for. See, I don't know, man. It depends. I don't know what New Japan's ultimate goal with New Japan of America is. Because if their ultimate goal is to have an established product and house a American branch promotion in the United States that runs regularly, that draws good houses, that can be a profitable venture for them, as opposed to just doing X amount of dates per year and just letting people dabble in the New Japan's stars throughout the years and just have these super shows that they were doing, like I was so excited for the Madison Square Garden show, only because I was at the Supercard of Honor or Supercard, where Ring of Honor or G1 Special or whatever it was that was at Madison Square Garden during WrestleMania when it was in New York, or during WrestleMania weekend. I was at that show. And I've been very vocal. I think that New Japan killed it at that show, and Ring of Honor just dropped the ball, and the Ring of Honor product brought that show down. So I was so excited to see what New Japan was going to be able to do by themselves as a New Japan show for in Madison Square Garden. Think about filling that place up and having some insane matches and having an authentic, amazing New Japan special. It was the Dynasty. I think it was Dynasty. Wasn't Destiny. But yeah, I mean, I think it all depends on what New Japan's ultimate plans are for that. I mean, I don't know, man. That's a hard one. Now that I'm I thought when I looked at the question initially, I thought it was going to be easy to answer, but there's so many pieces of business that come into play that you have to try to figure out it depends on what everyone's ultimate goal is. And do I personally, my personal opinion, do I think that if New Japan worked with Impact, would it grow New Japan's footprint on America? No, it would not. I think, if anything, Impact needs to work on their footprint on America. And I think they're doing a good job. I think when they get crowds again, and they potentially can travel, and they're not, I know they're using like a sound stage or warehouse in Nashville to do their tapings now. But I'd like to see TNA take that step, especially once again on the Wrestling Open Forum show last week. I was talking about how TNA could, or I keep saying TNA, how Impact could, needs to, they finally taken that step to get these talents that, even though, yes, they are ex-WWE, and I'm not a fan, I'm not opposed to signing people coming out of WWE, because they're have to be some of the most talented people in the world, because that's why they got to WWE. What I'm opposed to is hiring talent from WWE and bringing them in and giving them titles right out of the gate, because then that lowers the standard of your. I shouldn't say lowers the standard. That lessens the. How can I say this? Too early in the morning. It puts ex WWE talent on a pedestal that says that I'm trying to think of a good example. It's basically saying that their talent is better than the talent that you have signed. And at any point in time when somebody leaves WWE, they can just step into Impact or whatever company does this and win titles because their talent is better than the talent that you possess already in your company. That's how I take it. I might be reading too much into it, but that's how I've always felt. I didn't like, and I think what really rubbed me the wrong way is when I think AJ Styles had the Impact Wrestling title, and Rob Van Dam just comes in his first day in the company and wins the world title. And it rubbed me the wrong way, and that's what I've always felt. And it was after his run in WWE. But yeah, I do. Do I think that that's a good fit? No. Now some interesting matchups that could come from it. I think right out of the gate, I think Sami Callihan versus Evil would be unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. If they haven't done it before, which they might have, I think Eddie Edwards versus Sonata would be outstanding. The North versus Grills of Destiny would be phenomenal. I know they've traded words back and forth online, so that might happen. Let's see. Women's match, you can't really do that because New Japan doesn't have many, if any, women's wrestling. Or they own Stardom, so take somebody from Stardom. I don't know much about it. I don't know. I'm not educated in the Stardom product, so I can't say that. But yeah, I think let's see, Ace Austin versus Takahashi, even though he just got hurt, would be amazing. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons as there are to everything, but like final answer, Patrick, is no. I don't think it'll happen. I think Gallows and Anderson are wishful thinking, or just put it out there into the universe, seeing if they could will it into existence. But I don't think that I wouldn't hold my breath for it. I wouldn't. I think that New Japan has a solid game plan. I can't wait till they can start doing shows in the States so I can work a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, I love what both companies are doing. I love what Impact's doing. I love what New Japan's doing. I don't know that you need to risk what you're building to try to work it out just to give a few like special matches that would be fun. So yeah, good question, Brad. All right, let me take a sip of coffee and you can hit me with the next one and go. What are your thoughts on the Pat McAfee Adam Cole altercation? All right, I saw this. Kudos. When's the last time anybody did something like this? First off, I love the Pat McAfee show. Absolutely love the Pat McAfee show. I love Pat McAfee. And I know that he's a huge wrestling fan. I know that he's worked with WWE for a bit. I didn't know. Like, I mean, when I watched the interview, I saw a article about it, and I said I want to watch the video, and I know like it's got to be on YouTube. So click over to YouTube, and I watch the whole segment. I end up watching the whole interview, which was a really fun, good interview. And all right, let me break it. I'm going to break it down from a producer perspective. The first question that anybody's going to ask, do I think it was real or a work? I think it was a work. I think it was planned. I think they're going to do something with Adam Cole and Pat McAfee. I like the idea of that because it gets Adam Cole even more in the public eye in the sports like realm. It gives him another avenue to gain fans and to get attention and to get his name out there, especially coming out of his world title or his NXT championship loss. It gives him something to do. I love that aspect of it. I don't know what would, if you were asking me, what would you ask me? How do you know it was a work? I think it intensified way too quickly. I think they were having a good conversation. There was a trigger question where somebody got annoyed, and then next thing you know, F-bomb, 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 push, walk out. What did I do there? What was I disrespectful? Like Pat McAfee? And yeah. I like the idea of throwing the F-bombs in there because it makes it real, and anybody that don't overthink shit like I do would say, oh, that's got to be real, because WWE would never let him say the F word on like a telecast that would get aired and played. We're in a new day and time, and I think WWE is doing everything they can, or NXT, I should, well, they can say WWE, everything they can to get attention. And if you it's a YouTube show, and if you look at, like, watch Adam Cole in PWG, and there's F-bombs all over the place. There's suck my dick. There's all this stuff they used to yell. So it's not like you're showing everybody an Adam Cole that they've never seen that he can lose. If WWE sponsors or like ad agencies get mad because he cussed, put the heat on Adam Cole, what can they do to him? He can always blame his temper. He lost his temper. It's a win-win situation for everybody. I do like how they did it. I can't deny that. I wish they would have had more words. I think McAfee kind of backed down. I wish McAfee would have. Now I'm booking it. What the fuck? So I wish McAfee would have been not more confrontational. Just like, I feel like he kind of whimpered down too easy. As soon as Adam Cole threw the microphone down, started yelling at him, McAfee was like, whoa, what? Whoa, what? I just asked a question. Whoa. Like on the defense. I wish, and especially after he pushed the producer. That was a nice little touch. I wish tell the producer to take a bump next time. Come on. You can't, like, you're getting pushed by a former champion in the biggest wrestling company in the world. So just take a bump. I don't care if you put a mat down. Don't show the mat. Like, just take a bump. But yeah, now I'm getting way too detailed into it, trying to kill time. But yeah, what do I think of the altercation? I like it. I like that they're going that route. I like they're doing something that has been done before. You can't say it hasn't been done before, but it has been done before. But when done well, it is. So I like that you're seeing this more intense side of Adam Cole. That all of us who follow him in Ring of Honor and PWG in his early career before he got to WWE know he has. And I think they've shown his resilient side with the title run, where he would just always win, even though for the, like, probably 50-60% of the time it was the Undisputed Era that were helping him win matches. But he also won matches on his own, which showed that he had that championship beam, or that championship about him. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. And it showed his resilience. So now I think they're going to transition to where they're showing his that more, I don't want to say evil side, but that more intense, for lack of a better term, which is a horrible analogy on my part. This is like if you watch Tim Tebow. So that's one thing that I am going to finish this Tebow reference. That's one thing that everybody put online right after it happened was, we know it was a work because we know Adam Cole's a nice guy. It's not hidden how Adam Cole is in real life. All this bullshit. And come on, it's like, we know how Tim Tebow is in real life. Tim Tebow is one of the nicest human beings on the face of the earth, or that's what he portrays. I believe him. I've never met him, but I believe in his consistent nature and consistent presentation and consistent just niceness, that he is like that in real life. But you put a helmet and some shoulder pads on Tim Tebow and tell him he's playing for the national championship, he's a completely different monster. and that's real. Like that's not like there's no scripting that. There's no that's not a bunch of writers in a room telling him what to say and how to act. That's real. So you can't tell me that someone who is nice can't get upset or can't get in a competitive situation and have this killer instinct. And I think that's what they need to do with Adam Cole. I like where it's going. I mean, I ultimately it has to come, like I saw the Triple H thing where Triple H invites him to NXT. Of course he's going to invite him to NXT because then there's going to be another altercation and then they might have a match between Pat McAfee and Adam Cole. Do I think it'll be good? I'm not sure. I think Pat McAfee is knows enough about wrestling, is enough of a wrestling fan to carry his weight during a match. But I mean, and Adam Cole is good enough to cover him and make it a good match. But I don't know. It might be the Bam Bam Lawrence Taylor, which I thought was a good match. I don't care what anybody says. It was a fun match, and it was a football guy against a wrestler. Like I said, it hasn't been done before, but it's the first time it's ever been done in this new era of NXT, and I like it. I do. I like how they set it up. It came out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know whose idea it was, but I'm down. I'm anxious. See, this is what wrestling fans forget is what you want ultimately is to be excited about something happening in the wrestling business or a storyline or something that can something that like will capture your attention and make you want to make you anxious to see how this is going to end. And that's what they've done. That's what I think every wrestling fan, this Adam Cole fan, and every sports fan or podcast fan that's a Pat McAfee fan, like right now they are sitting there saying, I can't wait to see where this goes. And I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is it not? That's the ultimate goal, is to capture that attention, capture that that mindset of like, oh, are these guys going to fight and how's it going to go down? And that's what they did. And I'm super excited to check it out and see where it goes. So shout out Pat McAfee. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. Why am I doing that? Like, he needs to shout out me because I want to be friends with him because he's awesome. He'll give me a reason to go to Indianapolis. But yeah, so Pat McAfee, Adam Cole, I like it. I can't wait to see where it ends. So, all right, another sip of coffee, and Brad hit me with the next one. Nick Aldis recently stated he blames Bruce Pritchard for the ratings drops in WWE. States he doesn't pay attention. Is this a fair criticism? This is a good one. Look, God, this is a lot to unfold. That coffee's kind of cooled down and it's getting good. So if you hear some swallows on the audio version of this podcast, I apologize. If you're watching on YouTube or Patreon or WrestlingUpInformed.com, then you see me drinking coffee. But I got to get energized. This is a lot to unfold. Brad, producer, what you forgot to mention before Nick Aldis stated this was that someone asked Bruce Pritchard, I think on his podcast, about Nick Aldis, and he stated that Nick Aldis did not have the it factor. And, man, I have to agree with Bruce. I think that I feel like Nick found himself when he won the NWA championship. I think solely because he was just him. He was able to do his character. But do I think this is no criticism to Nick Aldis? I like Nick Aldis. I love his character now in NWA. I didn't really care for it in Impact or TNA. I'm not sure if he's ever been to WWE developmental or not. I can't remember. I feel like I used to know that answer, but I can't think of it now. But yeah, I don't know. I think that if Nick Aldis was put on, I mean, I don't know, man. Do I think if he was put in the main event of WrestleMania, do I think he would draw? No. I just don't think he has that. And I could be wrong. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm right, but I think that it factor is something that he hasn't. He's very close to finding it, but he hasn't yet. I feel like his gimmick comes across as an arrogant asshole, and you just pay to see the arrogant asshole get beat. When him and Marty Scurll drew is because they wanted Marty Scurll to win the title, and Marty Scurll was part of the Bullet Club at that time. When I don't know that him and what's his name? Tim. It's not Tim Walker. Him and the guy that was the champion before. I apologize so much for not being able to remember the name. Tim Storm. Yes. Him and Tim Storm. I don't know that they drew. I think that was a good little sequence or segments or a good little run in championship wrestling from Hollywood. I just don't know. I don't know that he's drawn with anybody. I think that he was just like that perfect specimen for a wrestler in Impact when he had the title. I don't know, man. I agree with Bruce, but I think that's initially. I know that wasn't even in the question, but I explained that because I think that initially is what caused Aldis to go after Bruce, and it's just. I mean, I feel like that's just that's the easy out. The easy thing to go to when you talk about Bruce Pritchard is because you know he's part of the Raw and SmackDown, or he's over all this stuff on NWE. But I think that's an easy out because, I mean, ultimately the reason WWE's ratings have dropped is because their shows suck. And do I think that is because, I mean, I've stated this before. Do I think it's because Bruce Pritchard is out of touch or doesn't pay attention? Absolutely not. I think that's because WWE is in a weird place that they haven't been in 20 or 30 years, where they can't rely on the fans to help carry the show, and they aren't. I mean, their writing is not good enough for just the wrestlers to carry their shows, and the wrestling, they don't allow the wrestling to be good enough. But I say that, and when they have insane wrestling matches, their ratings drop even more. So I think that people are just tired of WWE. Finally, people are tired of WWE, and WWE is getting to the point where they're so stubborn that they're not going to listen. Whether that is, I don't think it's Bruce Pritchard. I think it's more Vince McMahon or the writing staff or whoever's over the writing staff. I mean, it's weird. Like, and I know we're gonna get like a little side road here. If I feel like WWE, the biggest problem, my biggest criticism with WWE is they don't allow things time to succeed. Time and time again, we see somebody get pushed, and then something happens, or it's not going fast enough for the instant gratification of the WWE office. So they just bail on it. And a lot of those things were pieces of business that could have gotten them, I think it ultimately made them a bigger star, a new star. They would turn into a bigger star, or that would help grow their audience. I think I was listening to Eric Bischoff's podcast, and which one was it? I think it was when it's the episode. It's called 83 Weeks. Everybody that watches this should know what that podcast is and where you can find it. But I think it's it's a really good listen. It's about his return to WWE for 6 weeks or however long it was. and he tells it, but he goes on this rant about advertising agencies and how they have to please so many advertising agencies. I don't think any fan who doesn't know anything about business, or any fan that's not, I shouldn't say doesn't know, but any fan that's not knowledgeable in business, and especially the wrestling business, but more importantly, the marketing business, will never understand what all goes into what they have to do. So it's easy for fans to sit back, and it's easy for me, I should say, to sit back and say, well, they're just not doing this. They don't follow through on this. They don't do this. They don't do that. There's so many more pieces of the puzzle that I don't even. I mean, I'm seasoned 16 years in wrestling, and I've been a producer for the last 8, and I ran a company for the last 6. And there's stuff that I don't even understand with their business practices, not practices. Like, they go into having to decide who to push, who not to push, what storylines, what you can say, what you can't, and all this. And I think ultimately, with that insult, I think that's just the easiest comeback for Nick Aldis to throw at Bruce is like blame it on WWE ratings, which he, even though he has a high role, probably has hardly any input in. I feel like that Bruce is mainly in charge of how the show looks and how the show flows, not what happens in the show. So Nick should be more educated on that, but probably isn't. And once again, you fall into a situation of someone gets butt hurt because somebody who's higher up in professional wrestling states their opinion. And valid. It's a valid point. It can't be. And instead of arguing that and giving facts of how you can show that companies have given me the ball and I ran with them. I've carried this NWA on my back since the reinitiation of the NWA brand, and I've helped grow it. And we've held the Crockett Cup. And Drew with him and Marty on top. And you fight somebody criticizing you or saying you don't have something, and you fight that with examples of how you do have the it factor. You don't go after the easiest comeback ever and just say, oh, well, the ratings on Raw and SmackDown and WWE suck because you don't pay attention. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. Listen, this is why people criticize you, is because you don't have good comebacks. And or you can just ignore it and say, listen, I don't work for Bruce Pritchard. I don't care if he has the it factor. I don't care if he thinks I have the it factor or not. I don't work for him. If I ever work for him again, then I will prove to him that I have the it factor. That's all you got to say, and it's done. I don't understand. I mean, I know we're dealing with egos, but I don't understand why you feel you have to go back, and it's like two kids like yelling at each other through the fence. I don't get it, but all right. This last one, Brad. Last one. Okay, so throw this last one at me, Brad. What do you think of the AEW TNT title run so far? In your opinion, is it living up to the hype? Oh, good question, especially after all this Warhorse fiasco that happened last Wednesday. Yeah. Kudos to AEW. Kudos to Cody. I was very critical of the TNT Open Challenge thing that Cody has done when he first announced it, and I stand by that. I stand by that when he gets beat, it needs to be somebody that is not signed to AEW. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not, because it's not a good business decision. But it needs to be somebody who isn't who they know they're going to sign, but they haven't signed yet, just to give that feel. I mean, listen, and it doesn't need to happen until independent wrestling companies can run again consistently with crowds, because ultimately the way I would do it, if if I were going to, is you have whoever you decide what you want to beat Cody for this TNT title. I think the best way, most fun way, and I think the most effective way that you can like wrap this whole open challenge thing home is you let somebody win it that isn't signed to AEW, who does have a contract after they win the title, but you kayfabe that all the way to the bank and let that person go and defend the TNT title around some independents. I think that's ultimately you've recreated Punk winning the title and leaving WWE, and instead of him going home and sitting for 3 months, the person that wins the TNT title in AEW can get it and take it to some quality independents. Don't take it to some like little shit shows in the middle of Mississippi, but take it to some prominent independent wrestling promotions and just help grow your fan base, help give some notoriety to the title even more. I mean, you never know. Like, not everybody in these little towns have cable. Not everybody in these little towns are on the internet all the time. So it's just a fun way, easy way, and cost-effective way to grow your brand and to get it out there to another audience. But do I think I do? I think that the TNT Open Challenge has lived up to the hype. Personally, my favorite match out of the whole, since this thing began, it was the Eddie Kingston match. And I can give or take the hardcore stuff, but I just think that Eddie is so believable. And because that is him, like that character is him. I've met him a few times and love him to death. Love the guy. But that kid, that's 100% authentic Eddie Kingston. And I think the match was amazing. I think his promo, probably the best promo in the business. Yeah, I like it. I don't mind the Sunny Kiss. I don't mind people under contract getting these title shots. The Warhorse thing, I thought the match was fun. I thought it was good. I like the idea that they take this guy who's become notorious on social media and has a good following. And I mean, that dude, that's how you grow fans. That's how you effectively use social media and a talent that has grown their social media independently to gain fans in AEW, because it makes it makes you look like you're a good company and you're good guys, and you will book what the fans want because they're pushing for this, and you give it to them. And that shows the fan base exactly what WWE is not doing. Is if you want something and you yell loud enough, then we will take into consideration, and it might happen. And that's one of the things that WWE is not capturing from fans. So no matter how loud you can yell till you can't talk anymore. We're not going to pay attention, and we don't care. We're going to do what we want to do. That's the WWE perspective, and that's a perspective that they're sharing or giving off right now. With the Warhorse thing, I think AEW showed everyone that your voice matters, your opinion matters, and just keep vocalizing what you want to see, and we're going to do everything we can to get it there. And I love that. Did I ever think that Warhorse was going to beat Cody? Absolutely not. But that's not the point. The point is, during this whole pandemic, I feel like if you could sum AEW up through this whole pandemic situation with no crowds, I think the answer is opportunity. I think they have given so many people opportunities, and they're taking care of talent as opposed to firing talent like WWE is, and then claiming $43 million on their first quarter earnings. It makes no sense. So yeah, Cody, like I said, I'm going to wrap this up quickly because we're running out of time. But like I said, kudos to Cody. I was very, like I said, critical when he announced it. I thought they were going to do the typical BS Open Challenge stuff that happens. with companies that have contracts and companies like WWE and AEW and Impact Wrestling, but they've carried out the expectation. I think they've lived up to the hype, and I love it. And I can't wait to see what they have next. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's really fun, and I think that I like what AEW's been doing with Dynamite, even though I'm very critical of AEW. Not because I don't like AEW, not because I'm a WWE super fan, just because I want AEW to be great. I want them to succeed. I want them to. I think they are the number 2 in America, but I want them to like really, really give WWE a run for their money, because once again, competition is competition, and they're giving a lot of my friends opportunities to make money and contracts. So, yeah, man, I want them to succeed, and I feel like the only way that they're going to succeed is for people to be honest about their product, and because I feel like as much as I know there's egos in that VP category. I feel like they listen. I feel like they ultimately they want their promotion or their company to be the top product, and they're willing to listen to people's opinions, educated or not, and decipher through and try to make it better. And I respect that about them. I really do think Tony Khan is like that too. That's just my interpretation from what I've read, what I've seen. But yeah, like I said, going back to the question at hand, I love, yeah, dude, I love the AEW TNT title run right now in the Open Challenge. And I mean, all I can really say, because you proved me wrong. I didn't think you were going to do it, and you did it. So kudos Tony, kudos Cody. Keep giving these people opportunities, and keep putting out excellent product. So, all right, is that all the questions you got for me, Brad? All right, awesome. Thank you guys again for checking this out. Sorry it's a day late. Had some stuff going on, but yeah, like I said, just to go through the rundown again. You can listen to this podcast as well as the Wrestling Up Informed show on iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Is it Stitcher Radio still? Just Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio. If you want the video version, you can go to Take It Home and Kick Out, or on YouTube. Wrestling Up Informed show are available on High Spots Wrestling Network. A new episode right now, this Saturday, or like this is Saturday. So right now, episode 12. So we got 12 episodes. I went through the other day. If you just go subscribe to our YouTube page if you want like just clips of the show, because we're putting up clips. I'm uploading them now, so we're going to get them up. I'm trying to catch them. I'm like up to episode 5 because we don't have a team. It's just me and Dutch. But yeah, go check those out. There'll be more that are uploaded throughout. If you just want to watch little 10-minute, 8-minute clips from each episode. But check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/WF show. And that's always, like, I love that Patreon. We're going to do more and more and more with it. So if you want to help us monetarily, you can there. We have 3 tiers, $5, $10, and $15. You can go check it out, see what all you get. You can go to WrestlingUpInForum.com for all the latest videos. That's like our home hub base. It's got all of our videos, all of our audio stuff. We're going to put up some of the merchandise as well as some cool things. I'd be reluctant to not give a shout out to Talking Shop-A-Mania that happens tonight on pay-per-view. I think it's like on-demand pay-per-view, and also on Fight TV. I got mine on Fight TV, so I'm going to sit down with a few beers and check that out tonight. And yeah, so I appreciate it. I always enjoy you guys hanging out with me and talking about wrestling. Hopefully next time I do this, it won't be 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll be a little bit more awake, but my coffee has done the trick. And yeah, so now I'm going to go mow the yard because I'm wide awake. But thank you guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Watch Talking Shop Mania. It's fucking hilarious.